Hey everyone, Jamie here. I saw someone ask another person this question, and I just wanted to answer it on my channel. The question was, what if we have like massive emotion about something? Like our honest state of being is that we have really big emotions about something. In other words, they're manifesting something, and maybe there's like desperation or urgency or just really intense emotions that are they are actually attached to it. Like, I could lie and say I'm fine and then just say like, yeah, I'm just rolling with it, however it goes. But the honest truth is I have insane emotions erupting out of me about this thing. And what do you do then, right? And okay, so I have so many ways that I could respond to that. So what I've said so many times on this channel that I'll just remember, because I think like this is like a really important baseline, even though this person in the moment maybe can't get here. Our emotions are a reaction to our thoughts and our beliefs. Why do we have emotions? We have emotions because in a split second, our brains have interpreted a situation as either risky or not risky, as either, dire or safe. And in that split second, based on decisions that our brains made like as early as when we were a toddler, our brain in that split second decided whether or not this was safe or unsafe, and then gave a story to it based on our experiences, our life experiences, and or what we've learned or been conditioned to know in our life. So our emotions are simply that mechanism, that safety mechanism in place. And so the event itself, the thing that we're freaking the fuck out about, the event itself is actually neutral. And so if you're like really in it right now, maybe you don't even have the capacity to hear me say that. But the truth is everything we experience, every event out there is actually neutral. We are the ones that give it meaning. We are the ones that make it mean something. Again, the thoughts that we think, we make it mean something. We tell a story in our head of what's happening. Those thoughts, those beliefs, those fears are what instantaneously cause this eruption of emotion within us. So we are not our emotions. We have emotions. And there is a logical cycle that happens that causes these emotions. So again, if you can just this is the biggest problem that everybody experiences out there is we're so in it that we don't have this rational, the rational part of our brain is not turned on. So I'm really making this for the people who like aren't really in it right now, and this is just something that I can help you build this foundation for the future. But that's the, what's most important is recognizing this, all this emotion that you're feeling is because of the story you are telling in your head, and that story can be written differently. Everything that you're feeling is a response to thoughts and beliefs and fears that are running rampant in your head right now. Okay, so that's one thing I wanted to say. The other thing, though, that I will just say is like, okay, but Jamie, yes, the emotions are running rampant, so what the fuck do I do? So what you do, so here's where Here is where most people get it wrong. Most people get their shit all over everybody else, right? Like, most people, by the way, I say most people, let me be clear, I am guilty of this myself. Please do not think that in any way that I am saying like, oh, well, I know this and I never do this, peasants, right? Like, no, it's nothing like that. Yeah, I can be an obnoxious asshole in my own right, for sure. However, I've never gotten violent and like whatever, all the things. So where most people get it wrong is they involve others in their meltdown, right? Like, because the truth is when you have like massive emotion about something, and it needs to be released, the healthy thing to do, the emotionally stable thing to do, is to process it privately. What most people do is they explode and, like a fucking ticking time bomb, cause mass destruction all around them. So anybody that's in their warpath is going to feel that from them. And there's usually a lot of innocent bystanders. And of course, like, I'm talking about even just someone losing their shit and just like screaming or yelling about something. But obviously, out in the world, there are people that take it way more extreme and they get violent, and then they physically hurt other people, not just emotionally or mentally, right? And all of that's really shitty and bad and terrible, and we really want to avoid that. And why is there so much crime? Why is there so much violence out in the world? It's because people aren't processing their fucking shit privately. Like, they're not privately processing their fucking shit. So, just really quickly, first of all, like, if you have some pillows and a bed, you can like literally process your shit. Like, you can be punching those pillows. You can be screaming into those pillows. You can be punching your bed. You can be screaming into your bed. Like, you can, like, there's so many just, why do you think that so many people, I just feel like I hear, and forgive me, but this is just top of mind because it was just the Super Bowl, and so it's very top of mind. How many people have said, for example, that playing football like saved them and just like helps them actually be so much more emotionally stable. Why? Because they have an outlet for that rage. They have an outlet to release these crazy extreme emotions that they're feeling. And so I will just say that's, like, football was top of mind, but just like, that's why some people box. That's why, my husband is in such a, like, you can tell on the days that he hasn't gone to the gym, he lifts most days, and it gives him this, release. Like, it helps him get this sort of pent up energy that's inside of him out. And so, it doesn't have to be something with like physical contact. Like, it doesn't have to be like football. But yeah, like, actually exercise, activity, being active is one of the most healthy forms of release that is available to everyone out there. But let's say you're like, fuck that shit, I don't want to work out, I don't want to exercise, I don't want to play a sport right now, but I am full of rage and I need to do something about it, or I am full of fear, I'm full of stress. Your body has to release that stress. You are like a volcano that is, there's a lot bubbling underneath the surface, and you will erupt at some point if you aren't processing and releasing it. I do breath work. I also do tapping, which is EFT. And there's a gazillion videos on tapping that you can find on the internet. My personal favorite is Brad Yates. I like him so much more than the Ortners, like Nick Ortner and his sister. I mean, I have done so many different tapping videos from so many different people because it was absolutely my go-to for a very long time. And the bottom line is when you're tapping, you can use like a guided tapping video to like get the juices flowing or to just kind of help you. But the best tapping is when you're just doing it yourself and you're just saying whatever the fuck you're feeling. Like literally, like, I just want to fucking kill, so and so. Like, I hate them so much. This is the worst. They're such an asshole. Like, why would they do this to me? Or like, I fucking hate my life. I fucking hate myself. Like, why did I get myself into this position? I'm such a loser. What's the point? There's no point. Everything is fucked. Like, there's, nothing is ever going to go my way. I'm the worst. This is the worst. My life sucks, whatever. Like, all of that shit is stuck inside of you and it needs to be released, So when you are like, well, yeah, I get it. Ideally, I just be going with the flow, rolling with whatever comes up. I set my intention and then I release it. And then I'm just supposed to like be cool about it, but I'm not because I have all this stress about it. I'm so worried about it. I have all this anxiety. You've got to release it from your body. But the healthy thing to do is to do it privately. Or, I suppose, like, this is not what a coach is for, but there's a very thin line between coaching and therapy. But again, like, here's the thing. Something else you can do is like use your voice notes app as if you're leaving someone a message. So your body is physically in the position and acting it out as if you're just fucking unloading on someone, but then you don't send it. Or like you write that letter, like you're just like, write that letter that you've been meaning to, write to your boss or your coworker or that random troll. Like, you write that shit and you say everything you really want to say, but then you don't send it. You don't send it. That's what I mean when I say you're processing this privately. Because here's the thing, all of that emotion is totally clouding your judgment. All of that emotion is totally blinding you to the opportunities that are in front of you. It is totally blinding you to all the good that's already right in front of you and readily available as soon as you have the eyes to see it. So you do want to process those emotions. Now, something else I'll just throw out there is Abraham Hicks talks about dropping the stick. And what they mean by that is like, think about like the game hot potato. Like the stick is too hot to hold. Like it's as if like you're so charged about the thing that it's almost like that stick came straight out of a fire pit and it's hot and like will burn the shit out of you. And so you have to drop the stick. When Abraham Hicks says that, basically they're saying like, you need to do something else completely, something totally entirely different. Whatever the thing is that you're so emotionally charged about, what they recommend doing is like literally dropping the stick so it doesn't burn you, metaphorically, and literally shifting your focus completely away from it. So let's say that you're just feeling so fucked about your finances and you just are so stressed about money. What they would say is like, drop the money stick and literally like do a puzzle with your child, or just like, I'm like totally blanking because I'm trying to think of like things you would do with a little kid because my kids aren't little anymore. But just like, hey, do you want to draw? Do you want to paint? Do you want to do a puzzle? Do you want to play a game? Like, do you want to play, you know, you would just literally do something totally unrelated to the thing that you're such a hot mess about. Because inevitably what happens in that scenario is you raise your vibration, you raise your energy. On the emotional scale, you go up a couple steps. Now, suddenly, some of the fog has cleared. And when you go back to that thing that was so emotionally charged, you're literally looking at it from a different perspective because you are at a higher vibrational level. Does that make sense? So I hope this is useful. I hope that I actually did the question justice, but if this generates more questions, let me know and I'll be happy to talk more about it. Remember, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to live and love your life on purpose.